So now the sun has moved on from our perspective here on Earth, and it's gone up into gateway number 5. And gate number 5 is in the top right corner of the wheel here. We're in this quarter here we call Samhain, the bottom trigram, solid, solid, solid. And here we are, we got water on top of the heaven, in the 5th gateway here. And the 5th gateway, the gateway of waiting. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for the right timing of things. And so this gateway is an essential gateway in human design in that it accords us to universal timing. Everything that has a pulse of any kind of sort at all has access through the 5th gateway. Everything has a right timing. And it's when the birds fly south, it's when the fish swim north, it's when the flowers bloom, it's when the fruit fall. Everything has its natural timing to things. And it's possible to play with the timing, but in the end, in our own acquaintance with what is natural in life, we'll see that this 5th gateway plays an enormously important part for us. So Sun in the 5th gateway in the top side there, Earth in the 35 in the lower side, in one of the gateways in the throat center. So we got the 5 in the sacral center as a natural cross-pollinating gate. We got the 35, the gate of progress in the throat center, saying, are we moving anywhere yet? Are we moving towards a state of fulfillment? Are we done yet? Is there more to be experienced here? And then on the unconscious side, the unconscious Sun in the 64, the gateway of there's no limits. Have we considered this? There's more to look at here. And the 63 on the other side, the gateway that says, is everything in order? Everything we've got to date working properly. So the 5 in what we call logic circuitry in human design, the 63 in logic circuitry in human design, the 64 and the 35, both in what we call abstract circuitry. Does life make sense? So on the one side, looking towards the future with the logic gates, and the other side, looking back a little bit to see, are we connecting the dots? Is life adding up for us? And so we have this personal life theme we call consciousness. And people with this life theme, they're always in a state of expanding their consciousness, just reaching out. Is there more? Have we accomplished anything? Are we being fulfilled in this lifetime? Are we in timing? Are we in touch with the natural rhythms of life? And in particular, is our life according to natural timing? So do we engage in situations in a way that brings us a sense of fulfillment? Or do we feel like, no, we haven't arrived there yet. We've got to go further. We've got to look deeper into things. People with this life theme, because they have the 64 and the 63, they're always able to expand on other people's horizons. They'll be able to fill in the blanks for other people in their story that maybe they're saying, well, I'm going to do this, I'm planning to do that. And people with this life theme will say, well, have you considered this? Are you sure that's going to work for you? Maybe this might be a better approach for you. So they have that means of tuning into all kinds of different ways in which life operates. And so this personal life theme of consciousness is really sitting in the middle of it all, having the experience of life around us. The Sun moves on into the 4th line, and we get to this, for just under 3 hours, we have this fixed life theme of what I call rituals. It's also been called habits, but in a sense, a habit is something you just do by rote. You do the same thing over and over and over again. A ritual is a much more refined process of engaging with something that has a meaning for you. And so looking again, the conscious Sun in the 5th gateway, again, it's all about the right timing. It's all about moving through life in accord with one's own inner rhythm. The 35 is that way of looking at life and just seeing, okay, if I'm going to have experiences with other people, are these experiences going to be fulfilling? Are they going to lead us to fulfillment? And the unconscious Sun has gone into gateway number 47 now, the gateway of trying to make sense out of life. And the unconscious Earth in the 22, the gateway of grace. So the 47, trying to make sense out of life, it has also been called the gateway of oppression, in that the more you try and study something, the less sense it makes to you, until finally you put your attention somewhere else and all of a sudden you get the resolution. The 22, the gateway of grace, involves not only being gracious in life and according to the element of grace. Grace is something that is indefinable in a way, it's just recognizable. because it has that flow in life. Being gracious in situations where life is not perhaps so gracious. So again, this particular life theme of rituals is looking into not only the physical attunement with grace, but also seeing that grace is something that can flow through us, that we can become a medium for a sensation of being gracious in life and bringing that element of the spirit through grace into our lives. So I prefer the word rituals for this, is just to see everything has its right timing and being in attunement with one's own inner timing. And regardless of everybody else's great ideas and suggestions where you should be doing this, but just holding true to what you sense as being essential for you. The sun then moves on into the fifth and sixth lines of the fifth gateway. And by now, the fifth gateway recognizes there is a natural timing to things, and I can work according to the timing, seeing what goes on in the world around me, how different people, when they're encouraged to use right timing of things, things work out better for them. The earth in the 35, the gateway of progress, and just seeing, life is always moving along, but by the time you get to the fifth and sixth lines, a little bit more perhaps discerning about what experiences are likely to bring a sense of fulfillment, a sense of progress, that I really learned something from this particular experience. The 35 is very reluctant to do the same thing over and over again. As I've been there, done that, moving on, let's try something different. So this life theme of separation is setting itself up. Yes, I can accord to natural rhythms, but I'm not just going to go along with things because everyone else wants me to do that. The unconscious sun in the 47, attuning to life, whether it has that concept of bringing fulfillment or not. The 47 and the 35 still in that abstract circuitry of seeking to join the dots in life so that it brings resolute meaning. And then the unconscious earth in the 22, the gateway of grace and graciousness, and just seeing that to be in a state of grace in life involves sometimes being apart from the way everybody goes about things. Necessarily, people with the fifth and sixth lines with their conscious sun, they have this ability to be able to orchestrate things for other people, to bring resolution for other people's situations. And in my experience, people with this particular life theme, yes, they can engage fully. Fifth lines have to be really careful not to be rescuing people. They come from an inner resolve whether to be involved in somebody's situation or not, to bring them that sense of awareness and alertness. So separation, yes, inevitably there's going to be a separation from everyone else's expectations of what you can do with yourself in this lifetime. There's going to be that certain connection into the spirit level that perhaps other people don't really recognize about you, but it is something that will be essential to you in your life and in your work as well. So again, a very particular life theme. And inevitably, people with this particular life theme of separation, they may find themselves moving on and changing locations, changing the way they do things, changing the people they associate with, and always kind of keeping themselves in a space that's unique to themselves. People with this interpersonal life theme of separation, David Carradine, you might remember Grasshopper, yeah? Goodness knows where that came from. Such a different expression of Kung Fu and the martial arts in his own timing. Nicki Minaj, this very unusual performer, doesn't seem to concern herself too much with other people's opinions, just gets on with it. Jim Morrison of The Doors, absolutely a unique presence in his own life. And King Basinger, who had an extraordinary career with Hollywood, all kinds of things available to her, but in the end just, drifted off to do her own thing. People with a personal life theme of consciousness, this one's exploring and expanding from a personal level. Walt Disney, just how on earth did Disney come about? I mean, the imagination this man had of just exploring the whole arena of consciousness. And then George Custer of the famous, massacre that drew his cavalry into a massacre where the Indian population just got fed up with his way. But he kept on exploring, kept pushing and pushing. And also Margaret Cho, this very amazing actress who has played so many different roles in life. So those are some of the people with these particular life themes. All of the 192 life themes are in this book of destinies. The whole story of humanity in the human experience on Earth at this time is in this book. It's part of the Human Design Trilogy, available from all good bookstores and from Amazon as well. There it is for this time. Catch you next time.